Welcome, everybody, to the session, Why Industry Leaders Choose AWS for Rise with SAP. Rise with SAP is a solution to migrate your SAP ERP to the cloud and future-proof your business. Our goal today is to share insights from customers around the world, leaders in their industries, and the reasons that make AWS their preferred choice for SAP with Rise with SAP. During the next hour, we will provide you with data and customer testimonials that will help you plan your digital transformation. So thank you very much for joining us, and let's start with the introductions. So my name is Naya, and I lead the global organizations of solutions architects that work closely with SAP to innovate and build the future together. And I'm very happy to be here with Eric and Carsten. Eric, please, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi everyone. My name's Eric Kamen. I lead worldwide solution architecture for our enterprise applications business. I lead a team of architects around the globe that help customers like yourselves plan for their migrations to AWS.
Thank you. And Carsten, welcome. Tell us who you are.
Yeah, hello. Thanks for the intro. I'm Carsten Ziegler. I'm Vice President for Application Integration and Cross-Architecture at SAP. It's a pleasure for me to be here with you. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sure. We are also very excited to share the stage with you, SAP leader, here in this presentation. So let's have a look at the agenda today. So we are going to start explaining why SAP customers love working with AWS. Then we're going to go to explain how AWS helps maximizing performance and protecting against disruption. We will also talk then about innovation, how to innovate faster and transform your business. We will then cover how we accelerate your move to Rise with SAP, and then we will have a section where we will provide resources so you can get started today. With that, I hand it to Eric.
Okay, so thank you, Naya, and thank you all here for joining today. So since you're all here in the room today, you're probably considering modernizing your SAP environment. And if you are, you're probably experiencing some of the business challenges that are shown up on the screen here. So working with all of our customers, we frequently hear from our customers that there's compelling events like mergers and acquisitions. Some have target dates to exit data centers. Some have looming end-of-life support dates for hardware or software. And you also might be looking for ways to reduce costs or to improve decision-making with data, or possibly how to support your company's broader growth objectives, okay? So running SAP on AWS, this is one proven way that you can address these business demands. And increasingly, what we're seeing is more and more customers are choosing to do so with SAP Rise running on AWS. Okay, so today, we have thousands of customers who trust AWS to run their most mission-critical SAP workloads. We have customers across nearly every geography and every industry. And we see amazing business outcomes from our customers once they migrate to AWS. So, to name a few examples, Thermo Fisher, they've reduced their disaster recovery costs by 60% when they moved to the cloud. Swire Coca-Cola, they improved their system performance by 50%. Volkswagen, they improved their manufacturing efficiency by extending their SAP environment and integrating with Amazon's IoT services. Apollo Tires, they recently moved their SAP platform to Rise, and they're improving their supply chain efficiency by, again, extending their SAP environment with our AI and ML services. In addition, we've moved some of the largest SAP environments on the planet to AWS, such as the US Navy. Okay, so one of the reasons why SAP customers choose AWS is because of Amazon's culture and customer focus. So the mission statement of Amazon is to be the Earth's most customer-centric company. This means that we place the customer at the center of all of our decisions. Products like Amazon Prime, Alexa, Kindle, Prime Video, and even AWS, these were all founded out of our focus on customers and our focus on innovation. And this commitment to customers, it extends into SAP. It's why we continue to support SAP customers around the globe. Okay, so another reason why SAP customers choose AWS is because we have deep experience running real-world businesses at a massive scale. So to get a sense of the scale of Amazon, we have 5 primary businesses, ranging from Amazon stores to entertainment. Also, AWS is its own. We have more than 1 million employees around the globe. We have hundreds of fulfillment centers worldwide. Within these fulfillment centers, we have more than 750,000 robots in use today. And by the end of this decade, we'll have 100,000 Rivian electric vehicles out delivering packages. Last year alone in the United States, we delivered more than 4.1 billion packages. When you look at AWS is right now the world's most comprehensive and broadly adopted cloud. We've been in operation for 17 years. We have more than 200 fully featured services that are used by 100 million of our customers, more than 1 million of our customers around the globe. We also have a broad partner network. We have more than 100,000 partners across 150 companies, and they're helping customers accelerate their cloud migrations, whether it's through consulting services or providing software capabilities. Continuing this focus on customers and innovation, AWS last year alone delivered more than 3,300 new significant features and services. Okay, specific to SAP, we have unmatched experience. We've been in this business for 15 years supporting SAP and SAP customers. We have a really strong history of having industry firsts. So a few examples of that. We were the first to support SAP as a customer in the cloud starting back in 2008. We were the first to provide certified infrastructure for SAP. We were also the first to bring components like DevOps and cloud automation to support SAP deployments in the cloud, and along with many others. When you look across all 3 of these columns, they show Amazon's track record of operating businesses at huge scale and innovating on behalf of our customers. Okay, so I mentioned that AWS launched several industry firsts for our SAP customers. Many of these were made possible because of the strong relationship that we have between SAP and AWS. One highlight of this partnership is that SAP has trusted AWS to power their own cloud applications since 2008. When you look at SAP's portfolio of SaaS applications, the majority of them run on AWS, so including Rise with SAP, SAP S/4HANA Cloud, NS2 HANA Secure Cloud, Datasphere, Concur's travel and expense solution, as well as Signavio. And Signavio is a big part of the Rise offering. And this partnership, it extends into the business technology platform, aka BTP. If you're not familiar with what BTP is, this is SAP's innovation platform. It's used for S4 customers or SAP customers to build extensions and integrations into their core SAP environment without having to customize the core, helping get to more of a clean core approach. Today, there's 80 BTP services that run in AWS. This is far more than any other cloud provider today. BTP is also running in 9 AWS regions around the globe. Again, a much broader global footprint than any other cloud provider. And last year alone, 100% of all BTP services that SAP launched, they launched them first in AWS. Okay, so that summarizes a few of the reasons why customers have selected AWS. Touched on Rise a few times. I'm now going to invite Karsten to provide an overview of what Rise with SAP is.
Thank you. Let's talk about Rise. So Rise with SAP, probably you've all heard of that. Nevertheless, I'd like to take a moment and repeat the key ideas. So SAP established a global standard for ERP software. We supported our customers for decades. They trust us with their mission-critical workloads. However, every customer is different in terms of infrastructure, in terms of solution portfolio, in terms of corporate culture, goals. We see all sorts of integrations with legacy systems or customer enhancements. Probably every customer has his special enhancements he cannot get rid of, he loves. Okay. Now, Rise with SAP is our commitment towards our customers' journey to the cloud. So we support the cloud transformation of the customers as we supported in the past over the last decades. The transformation, some of you may have started with R2 or so, then R3. So we always take the customers with us. Rise with SAP is a complete package. It contains cloud solutions, infrastructure, and services that help you migrate ERP to the cloud. The migration happens at your own pace. It's a personalized experience. It's a guided process, and you benefit from a proven methodology and a partner network that is specialized on RISE for SAP. So RISE for SAP is meant to speed up your transformation journey while reducing the risk of failure. It ensures security and compliance. So RISE with SAP provides you a single SLA no matter what infrastructure you run on. RISE with SAP is not like a fixed set of capabilities, methodologies, services. It grows. So this year alone, we added SAP Datasphere, we added Green Ledger, and generative AI. You will hear more about generative AI in SAP products later. Over to you.
Okay. Thank you, Karsten. Okay, so it's imperative to choose the right cloud provider when you're looking at RISE. For the rest of the session, we're going to dive into 3 topics to explore this further. Okay, so first, I'm going to have Naya back up here in a second talking about the benefits and the underlying RISE hosting infrastructure. And specifically, we're going to talk about the benefits of how this will help you maximize performance and protect your business against disruption. Okay, next we're going to discuss how to innovate faster and how to transform your business with RISE on AWS. With RISE on AWS, this is a really strong opportunity for companies to take advantage of added AI, ML, and data capabilities to help modernize your business. And then third, the final section, we're going to talk about preparing for the migration. We have a proven track record and resources available to help you migrate fast with minimal to no business disruption. So let's dive in. Naya, over to you.
Thank you. So I bought myself the best mobile phone for my birthday 2 months ago. And when I was calling yesterday my family from Vegas, the connection was not so good and they hung up. And I thought that's actually what I'm going to talk about in this section. Because we are going to talk about the importance of maximizing performance and protecting against disruption. You may have the best mobile phone in the world, but if the network running is discontinued, you will be doing yourself a disservice. When moving to AWS, these are the advantages that the AWS customers usually experience. The first one is reliability. So we have hundreds of customers' anecdotes where they explain how there are improvements in reliability when they move to AWS Cloud. And if you want more than just anecdotes, a 2022 study from Hackett Group found that companies who migrated enterprise applications from on-premise to AWS Cloud experienced a 69% decrease in costly unplanned downtime. The second advantage is about performance. So we have introduced innovations as AWS Nitro systems. And SAP themselves, they are experiencing better performance thanks to AWS Graviton. According to the 2022 report from ISG, AWS offers the best infrastructure performance for SAP workloads, allowing to get the maximum value to the investments of our customers. The third advantage is about security. So you can strengthen your security portfolio with 143 security standards and compliance certifications. And because of our high security standards, SAP has trusted us to run their SAP NS2 environment longer than any other cloud providers. NS2 environment is a secure environment for government agencies and other high security needs. And the fourth advantage is about sustainability. So AWS is on the path to 100% renewable energy by 2025. I would like that you raise your hand, those of you that find these advantages important when choosing a cloud provider. Okay, I see some hands. Very good, because now I'm going to be diving deep into each of them. So let's start with reliability. So I would like to know, anybody here knows what is the cost of an SAP system going down? I see here some faces, like I understand, we don't even want to think about it. Because in fact, SAP is the mission critical backbone of many of our enterprises. A study by IDC estimates that 1 hour of critical application failure is within $500K and $1 million. So you can see the stats in this slide, and if I will be choosing now a career for my phone, I will look into those slides to make the best use. And I think are equally relevant when you choose CSPs for your RISE with SAP environment. These results are possible thanks to the AWS unique approach to infrastructure with AWS regions comprised of multiple availability zones, and they offer high scalability, high availability, and high fault tolerance. And this is not only about maintaining the availability. AWS is also capable of providing recovery point objective 0 for short-range disaster recovery. This refers to the amount of data that can be lost within a period more relevant to the business before significant harm occurs. And this is like from the point of the critical event to the most preceding backup. Having RPO 0 can help safeguard critical transactions for your business and avoid extremely disruptive and costly interruptions in mission-critical applications like supply chain, manufacturing, or financial accounting. The second advantage is about performance. And here I mentioned before the AWS Nitro system. This is the underlying platform for the latest generations of EC2 instances. Traditionally, hypervisors are software-based and consume a percentage of system resources. AWS started building our own hardware-based solutions to improve the performance. And the Nitro system delivers practically all of the compute and memory resources of the host hardware to your instances. And this delivers like a number of key benefits for SAP and AWS customers. And for example, we have here a quote of a testimonial of Zalando. Zalando is a fashion online retailer from Europe. And in 2020, Zalando's business boomed. So they grew from 90 million orders shipped in 2019 to 145 million orders. And this was thanks to, I have to say, to people like me, that we were like buying clothes in their app during the pandemic. And this quote actually confirms that how they could scale thanks to Nitro and its near bare metal performance without giving up the flexibility of the cloud. Also about performance, we have here AWS Graviton. So today, hundreds of SAP and BTP applications and cloud services are using SAP HANA Cloud as their database as a service foundation. And now, SAP HANA Cloud supports ARM-based AWS Graviton processors that deliver performance gains, cost savings, and energy efficiency. Actually, we can see here some of the benefits that are reported by SAP. For example, 30% better compute performance, 15% lower cost for analytical workloads. These together make 35% price performance improvements, and also 45% of estimated reduction in carbon footprint for HANA Cloud. We have also here, you can read a quote from Jürgen Müller, Chief Technology Officer at SAP, highlighting this partnership and benefits. And now let's talk about security. I mentioned before about the security postures, but today I wanted to bring here this case that is very relevant for RISE with SAP customers, which is the ability to connect securely with AWS services. That's why this year our teams have been working together to make available SAP Private Link on AWS. This is a private connection between selected SAP BTP and AWS services on your customer AWS account. And brings these benefits. So you can access a service in another VPC using private service endpoints. You can also transfer data over private networks and avoid data exposure to the public internet. And also, you can satisfy your regulatory compliance requirements. This is very important for our customers from highly regulated industries. And now let's go to the fourth advantage about sustainability. When you operate on the AWS cloud, you can help lower your carbon footprint tremendously. So according to this 451 research, running workloads on the AWS cloud can be up to 88% lower carbon footprint compared to on-premise. This is just one of our commitments to sustainability. I mentioned before, AWS is on the path to relying on 100% renewable energy by 2024. And we are committed to return more water to communities than used in direct operations by 2030. And Amazon itself is committed to sustainability. Amazon is now the largest corporate buyer of renewable energy and has committed to reaching net zero carbon by 2040. And we have also committed $2 billion to this Climate Pledge Fund, along with SAP. SAP is also a signatory of the Climate Pledge Fund. So now for all this, so the analysts at ISG, that they are specialized in SAP, also validate our leadership in this space. So AWS has been recognized as a leader in the ISG's Provider Lens Quadrant report for SAP HANA infrastructure services for 6 straight years. And ISG called out our leadership in a number of areas, including high-performance infrastructure. So you see they confirm that AWS offers the highest configurations of virtual machines and cloud service options for hosting SAP workloads. Also, leadership in the area of support. They confirm that AWS also has a rigorous program for its SAP partners that reflects AWS' commitment to delivering top-tier solutions and support. And then the other area is innovation. And about innovation, my colleague Eric is going to talk to you now.
Okay. Thanks again, Naya. Okay, so once they have the RISE environment deployed and migrated and they're running successfully in AWS, they often shift their focus to business innovation. And AWS and SAP together, we offer hundreds of services and capabilities to help customers modernize and transform their business. Okay, so while we work with our customers in different industries and different geographies, we see a common set of innovation trends and goals that customers have. And the 6 most pressing innovation goals and business challenges that we tend to see are, first, to create new revenue streams and looking to create new business models. We see customers looking to improve their decision-making by using data. We see them looking to automate processes to increase productivity. We see a big focus on supply chain optimization, finding ways to reduce logistics costs. We also see customers that are looking to accelerate manufacturing, while at the same time reducing defects, reducing downtime, reducing waste. And last, we see customers that are looking to improve customer experiences and delight their customers. So we're going to bring this together with a few real-life examples of what some customers have done. So we're going to start with Moderna. Moderna is a global pharmaceutical company. I think they're very well known for their COVID vaccine, obviously. They built one of the most advanced and intelligent manufacturing and supply chains in the industry. And this supply chain, it's powered by S/4HANA, along with a number of extensions built with AWS services, such as our Internet of Things, AI/ML, and various data and analytics capabilities. This advanced supply chain, it's allowed Moderna to manufacture and distribute vaccines and medicines in tremendous scale globally, while also being very operationally effective. Okay, and Vista is the second one to highlight. This is a $6 billion company. They make polymers and thermoplastics that are in a lot of products that we use on a regular basis. They're in medical devices. They're in food storage containers, as well as in car airbags. They extend their SAP environment with AWS services, such as machine learning, to reduce manufacturing defects. They also extended SAP with AWS analytics services, which allowed them to fully automate their inventory restocking programs or processes. So these innovations, along with many others, are helping Envista generate more than $300 million in operational value. And then the third one to highlight is Lion. Lion is a leading beverage company based out of Australia. They had a business need. They needed to provide their customers and their vendors with real-time visibility into invoices and order status. To achieve this, they built a mobile app, they built a web portal, they built these all using AWS services, and they fed in data and they integrated it with SAP, and again, their SAP environment was also running in AWS. Now, this solution allowed Lion to really provide game-changing experience improvement to their 25,000 retailers, their vendors, as well as other restaurants who they do business with. Okay, so as noted, when you choose RISE, you have access to 80 BTP services that are running all on AWS. And this is, again, more than any other cloud provider out there. Utilizing these BTP services, you can extend and innovate your SAP system, all while keeping that SAP core clean. And again, keeping the SAP core clean will help you with future upgrades. It's also the best practice that SAP recommends. There's several BTP services available in the area of data and analytics, such as SAP DataSphere and Analytics Cloud. There's artificial intelligence and machine learning capabilities, such as SAP's AI Core and the AI Launchpad. They also have developer-focused tools, such as the BTP ABAP environment for ABAP programmers. They have the SAP Business Application Studio, and they even offer low-code, no-code solutions like SAP Build Apps. Now, BTP, it's available across the globe in 9 different AWS regions. And again, it's a broader footprint than other cloud providers. By having the BTP available in 9 different regions, it allows our customers, they can connect their RISE environments with low latency. They can also meet data residency requirements that some countries have. Okay, so in addition to BTP, you can also tap into this innovation potential by using more than 200 AWS services. So in fact, this week, reInvent, there's 50,000 people here in Vegas specifically to learn more about these 200 services and how they can innovate and bring them back to help their companies. These 200 plus services, these include more than 15 different purpose-built databases for any type of data use case that you have. There's more than 25 AI and ML capabilities. And within these 25, there's hundreds of different algorithms that can be made available to our customers. There's analytics services that power literally hundreds of thousands of customer data lakes around the globe, and many more. With regards to generative AI, we launched a new service this year called Amazon Bedrock, and I'm going to have Naya tell us about Bedrock and how it fits in with our SAP offerings.
Thank you. So we talked to many customers about generative AI and concluded that what they really want is to take the foundation models and customize it with their own data without leaking any of that custom data into the generalized model. And they want it all in the same platform and security capabilities that they get in AWS. So that's how Amazon Bedrock was born. We created Amazon Bedrock. This is a fully managed service that is serverless, where the customers can choose high-performing foundation models, and they can privately customize them. So our core value propositions are model choice, data privacy, and customization. So I want you to see now this in action, and that I'm very happy to bring you here like Karsten, and you saw us how this is happening in SAP.
Thank you. So let's take a look at Bedrock in action at SAP. How many of you know SAP Concur? How many of you are SAP Concur's users? Maybe just raise your hand. Did you know that Amazon is one of the biggest SAP Concur customers? So let's introduce SAP Concur very briefly to you. SAP is at the nexus between technology and business. So AI, and particularly generative AI, will fundamentally change the way how we collaborate, the society, the way we work overall. And a great example of how we can embed generative AI into our applications is Concur, SAP Concur. That's our travel and expense solution. And you're all on a business trip, and you probably know that being on a business trip can be fun, but planning it, and especially doing the expense report, that can be painful, and that's probably not an exercise you're very keen on doing. So Concur streamlines this process, and it aligns your individual preferences with corporate policies. But let's take a closer look. Let's roll a video that shows you SAP Concur.
Follow along as we organize an entire trip with new ease. Let's take a trip from New York to San Francisco. Air, hotel, and car services are estimated powered by Gen AI and adjusted and cross-checked according to company policy, which can help your company make sound travel decisions. Here, we removed the extra legwork and help make sure the numbers are more accurate. Less time and hassle for the traveler, more controlling of your funds before they're spent. Now, Gen AI-powered AI insights will show hotels with a coffee stand in the lobby, close to metro, and with popular restaurants nearby. Whatever the request, Concur Travel Evolution finds it. Can't remember the company's lunch reimbursement policy for business trips? Just ask the end product assistant. Yes, it is in San Francisco. And yes, just me, no colleagues. Oh, do I need to get a receipt? Thanks. And the hotel checkout? My hotel emailed the folio. Now, I just drag and drop it into Concur Expense and let Expense It do the work. Expense It has been supercharged with AI to significantly increase the accuracy of the automatic hotel itemization and is now available on the desktop as well as mobile. With the hotel details automatically filled, you don't have to spend valuable time typing it in. And before the flight home lands, the notice comes through on the mobile phone. Expense report approved. Nice. It practically wrote itself.
I could use Concur all day. It's a great product. I think I need to travel more. Maybe plan for the next visit next year.
Exactly, let's come together again.
All right, so what you have seen is the collaboration of SAP with AWS. So as mentioned before, we have a good collaboration since 2008, and we work together on Concur to integrate Bedrock into Concur so that you see all those nice generative AI features like this expense it capability where you just drag and drop the document and then you have automatically populated your expense report. So based on this experience, based on these collaborations, we developed a reference architecture. A simplified version of this reference architecture is shown here on the slide. So we have the AI foundation that is powered by the business technology platform. Business technology platform, as mentioned before, is underlying a lot of our services and a lot of our apps. Partners can also build apps on the business technology platform, or customers can build the extensions on the BTP. And the AI Foundation is one of the services on BTP. It contains AI services, for example, business document extraction. If you haven't heard of that, that's also a very interesting service. So you just can use any business document, any printed document, and convert that into structured information and feed that into your business processes. And that works for up to 40 languages. Now, next to the AI services, we have the newly introduced Generative AI Hub. So what is that? That's an abstraction layer for large language models. And it comes with a lot of tools, for example, tools for prompt engineering or model augmentation, or very important, model grounding. So you want to ground your model with SAP data to make sure that the output is reliably relevant and it's correct, that you can rely on it. Now, of course, you have the security and the privacy that you know from SAP. With the Generative AI Hub, you can use open source models, you can build your own foundation models, you don't need to rely on commercial providers and send your data over to the commercial provider. Not needed if you don't want to. Now, a very good combination is the use of AWS Bedrock. So use the Generative AI Hub with Bedrock. And in the Concur example, we have implemented Bedrock and Anthropic Claude. So that's a very good combination. But of course, you could use any other model, for example, Cohere or whatever suits your purpose. So what we did in the example of SAP Concur, that is something you can do too. So all of those technologies are available to you, and nothing stops you. So think about cases and do what we did for Concur, do that for your own use cases.
Thank you very much. I'm also a very heavy user of Concur, and I'm very happy of this collaboration between our teams this year. So we have also seen a lot of interest from customers to explore use cases in GenAI in relationship to the SAP environments. So, for example, from the development standpoint, generative AI can help accelerate development with tools as Amazon Code Whisperer. We also see new applications in the financial area, such as utilizing Bedrock with SAP DataSphere in the areas of sales inventory analysis, or assisting in uncovering insights in the order-to-cash analysis using generative BI capabilities with Amazon QuickSight. And then other use cases are finance audit management and sales account management using Bedrock and SAP BTP services.
Okay, so up to this point, we've talked about the clear benefits of running SAP and AWS in the cloud. We're going to briefly look at how AWS can also help accelerate your move to the cloud so you can realize all the benefits that we discussed faster. Okay, so there's three easy ways that you can help accelerate your move to the cloud. The first is by tapping into our AWS partner network. We have 84 SAP certified competency center partners. Our certification program for partners is much more rigorous than other cloud providers. These are highly experienced partners. They can help de-risk your project. If you need references or introductions to any customers, please let us know. Happy to assist with that. We also offer multiple training programs as well as workshops. There's free online training available for a lot of different AWS services. We also have deeper AWS certification programs for your employees, your teams. And if you'd like to have a workshop, we have architects that can come in, they can do deep dives with your teams, and they can dive really as deep as you want into topics like migration planning, high available architecture, networks, as well as innovation use cases like what we just talked about with Bedrock. I didn't have that up there. And then last, we have migration assistance programs. We have dedicated funding for RISE migrations to help customers offset those one-time implementation costs. So if you're interested in learning more about any of these migration accelerators, please let us know. And I have one final customer case study that I want to walk through, which is PPG. PPG is a global manufacturer of paints, coatings, specialty materials. They're a Fortune 250 company, and they do business in more than 75 countries. They had massive growth. After massive growth, which included 60 acquisitions, if you can believe that, over 2 decades. And after this, they were left with an IT landscape filled with multiple disparate ERP systems. And this drove complexity across the organization for their business processes as well as managing data. So what PPG needed, is to reduce organizational fragmentation, and they needed to simplify and move all data sources into one flexible environment. So the solution that PPG chose was to go with SAP RISE on AWS, and this would unify all of their ERP systems into one single S/4HANA global environment. They selected RISE on AWS because of the global footprint available. They have operations in, like I mentioned, more than 75 countries, and they wanted to pick a cloud provider that could support their global operations. So their project, still ongoing. It's an SAP journey, as many of you are aware of, but this will synchronize their business processes, and this will ultimately boost their operational efficiency. Okay, Nadia, back to you.
Yes, so getting started today. I'm going to start with a wrap-up of the AWS advantage for RISE with SAP customers. So we have the most SAP on-cloud experience. We have covered before how we have like over 15 years supporting SAP on the cloud, thousands of SAP and AWS customers, and we have a much track record of industry first for SAP on cloud. I was talking before also about the security, 143 security standards. We power SAP NS2 longer than any other cloud service provider. And we have also a better security posture with AWS Nitro system. We also discuss here performance, reliability, and sustainability, powered with AWS Nitro systems, Graviton. We have less downtime than any other CSP, and lower carbon footprint, up to 88% compared to on-premise. We also talk about how we have the broadest set of cloud services to fuel innovation, over 200 plus AWS services. I talk about Bedrock. We saw it live. The AWS SDK for SAP ABAP, we didn't have time to cover it, but basically it's helping you access services from your native ABAP environment. I will also recommend you to check that out. We have an unparalleled support for SAP BTP services with 80 SAP BTP services running on AWS, and 100% of the new BTP services launched on AWS in 2022. And finally, we have all this comprehensive migration support. Eric mentioned our 84 competency partners, trainings, architectural workshops, and dedicated funding programs. So if you want to start and be up to date about what is new and what is happening, I wanted to recommend you to look into this QR code. Here you can always see what's new for SAP on AWS, because we are constantly innovating and updating. Also, if you want to learn more about AWS for RISE with SAP, we are on Wednesday. We still have a couple of days here at re:Invent. So here there are like 2 very relevant sessions. Or you can also just use this QR code and request an AWS for RISE with SAP best practice session with one expert to discuss your scenario. And you can always visit our enterprise workloads. It's in the Venetian. I was there yesterday. There are always experts and customers coming, and we are like discussing your solutions, and you can get there like also expert advice. So with all this, thank you very much. Thank you for joining this session. Please connect with us here in LinkedIn. Don't forget to complete the session survey in your mobile app.